Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back. Damn, it's been so long. If this is your 13th The Rookie Season 8 episode review, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing safe out there in the big old world. I apologize for hopefully the last time this television season of our delays are, just not getting the, like, by the end of the day, this is a hobby. I love reviewing shows. I really do. I don't think I'll ever stop. I got some good news coming up in a second, but I just wanted to say that for the record, that there is so much greatness in TV shows out there that I never want to feel rushed of being able to not to stop doing what I'm doing. I love it. I love every second of it, and I have no doubt in my mind that I just want to, like however long I have left on YouTube, whether that's another year, another 3 years, another 5 years, another 10 years, I don't know. I want to keep creating content, and at the end of the day, the reviews will come when it may, and I made that promise. Like, the reviews make me happy to speak my thoughts on a TV show that I'm watching. And then again, it's not every show I'm watching. If I'm doing every show I watch, I'll be overwhelmed. But no, I just, at this point, regardless of, how scheduling works out, in the coming months or next television season, that when they do come out, I do put as much effort as I used to premiere them as soon as they come out. And there will be some time where we will be premiering them back. It's just going to take a long time now because in fact we were almost caught up and now we're back up again. But yeah, no. So it's been crazy. It's been all over the place. But with that being said, to get back to the best news possible, I made this prediction because I kind of had a feeling we were going to be out for a bit after the last episode review we did for The Rookie. That I made the solemn, like, they better be renewed for season 9 by the time we come back. And I am very happy to say, yes, we have been renewed for season freaking 9. That is, again, I had to do in my head when I was at work when I got the news, and I'm like, season 9 equates to, well, yeah, we're like, because the thing is that the weird thing is that season 10, even though it'll be the 10th season, it will be airing during the 9th year, and then we won't properly get the 10-year anniversary till season 11. Which, again, the fact that we are this close to potentially getting to the double digit, it's so freaking crazy. It's again, we started reviewing this show for us in season 2. We're going to be going into a season 9, and yes, we will be reviewing season 9 when it does come out. At this point, I'm assuming it'll be the same schedule, 2027. So we won't be that far away from it. But again, the fact that again the rookie universe will continue. Hopefully we'll get Rookie North at some point soon again. And the fact is, I despite how things are going with AI and other things in life right now, just knowing that one of my favorite TV shows on the planet right now is going to come back for a whole nother season, it makes me happy. It really does make me happy. So congrats to the team over there, to the staff, to the crew, to the cast for producing such a high quality show. And we still don't know how season 9 is going to get set. We don't know all the finer details yet, but we already know it's coming. It's happening. Get psyched for it. Really, really get psyched for it. And I look forward to reviewing season 9 episode reviews. And I can't believe it's even a thing now. Again, I always get constantly surprised. I always get we're not only are we close to the double digits, but as apparently I missed this interview back earlier this season or last season. Let's Grey's Anatomy this shit. Yeah, no, Grey's got renewed for season 23. The Rookie can get to season 23. I'll be probably a dad by the time we hypothetically get to a season 23. But we'll see. We'll very much see. It'll just make for a very lovely rewatch by the time we get down to the brass of things. And also congratulations to Nathan Fillion. This is his first ever season 9. Historically, Castle ended at season 8. It could have gone more, but they canceled it at 8 for whatever reason. I never watched. Maybe someday we will. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But the point of the being I'm trying to say is that congratulations to everyone involved. Congrats. Whatever shape or form we will see season 9 present itself in, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to keep going. To keep going. And even like for me, like I still have a few more Rookie season 8 episode reviews to do. Just in general, knowing season 9's on the way is amazing. It's wonderful. But with this particular episode, though, now back to the smaller brass tacks with this week's episode, I was very content as well as perplexed. As well, this kind of felt like more like a full circle episode, if that makes any sense. It's one of those rare episodes where like it's an earned episode in a way where like it kind of felt like this could have been like a very rough series finale. It probably would be a bad series finale, but if for some reason, if another if another pandemic happened, this was the last episode shot, and ABC said, "Fuck it, we're ending the show here." I think this would have been a pretty decent ending. Okay, not to say like it's an ending per se, but definitely it quails the ship a little bit of like what potentially, like I said before, what does season 9 kind of look like, and what storylines do we still have left for this season to explore. And again, not knowing, again, I've been very off the grid when it comes to Rookie and Madlock stuff, so I don't know where we're at in the storyline. I'll be taking these next couple of weeks to kind of really catch up on these things and kind of really get back into the notion of things with those shows. But regardless of that, I have been very, adamant about it, and I was very, perplexed on just where does that look like? Where do we see with these characters? And honestly, this feeling a much more focal episode where like this kind of really comes full circle on a bunch of things. And at first glance, I wasn't really too thrilled on certain aspects of it, and so I still am not. But at the same time, it's still very much like, again, it goes back to what I've been saying since we started season 6 or 7, where they still have things to do. They still have ideas in the can to progress. And again, having these episodes where again you kind of are just reflecting on the whole journey as far. And again, they're when you're doing a TV show, yeah, it's not going to be abnormal for you to do that. You're definitely going to have moments where like you kind of take a seat back and like just realize how far you come and how far you have left to go. And that's kind of where I saw with this episode for most of the parts. So there were some parts where like I was questionable on some things, but regardless of that, I think this was still a very good episode. But with all that being said, let's go over the Butcher recap and talk about this episode of The Rookie. So we begin at roll call. Selena is listening to another masterpiece by the one and only Roger. But this is a little bit different. This is not a daddy cop. This is not a random variant of that. This is apparently a love song that Roger wrote in inspirement of Selena, of his relationship with Selena. And she's a little bit, it's always like, you heard of the Billie Jeans, you heard of the Michelle, you've heard of of all of these, like songs about, the singers, like love interests most times at the time. And as a result of it, it is a little bit, like perplexing to kind of think of yourself like that. And she's a little bit shy, obviously. Nolan and Chen being in two very contempt relationships are like, just trying to, there's going to be moments like this as you kind of try to figure out, is Roger going to be your man for life? But before we can get more in detail to that, Bradford is back from a brass meeting. Apparently, it has been noted that recruitment numbers are down. Sadly, not too many people are joining the LAPD this particular year, which is a problematic source, considering the fact not only do they have budget cuts, they also have understaffment, and quite frankly, there could be room for more officers. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But however, before Bradford can really get to the drive of it, which is doing a recruitment drive, having people just sign up in front of the station, hopefully to get the next generation of Mid-Wilshire officers into the building, we're about to see a segment out, as apparently the fine folks of the Shangri-La have apparently been doing this lottery pool for 12 years, and they finally got a cash out, and everyone quits. Like, apparently this is like The Office, where like the warehouse staff won the lottery. They all just quit. Again, how much money did they win? And also, how much money do I think they realistically could afford? But then again, they live in a trailer park, so I'm pretty sure they'll be content with the money they made. But regardless, it's the end. This is the end of an era. Smithy is no longer part of Mid-Wilshire. I'm lying. No. Well, apparently, just to go a little ahead, apparently, Smithy did not contribute enough money to warrant a payout from the lottery. So sadly, Smithy does not get to leave Mid-Wilshire. He's still around, but the rest of the Shangri-La folks are gonzo. They're gone. So all those like background experts, all the ones who come and know and love in the past 8 years, they are no longer on the show. Which I am like, that is wonderful. Hilarious and wonderful at the same time. So definitely Mid-Wilshire is in need of a brand new generation of officers coming into the flock of the spear. But we'll get to more about that momentarily. It's also election day for the new DA, and sadly Wesley has, the last few episodes have not been quite kind to Wesley's campaign. It just kind of seems like the fine city of LA is now ready for Wesley, and he's already preparing to concede the election to his eventual new boss, who will 100% fire his ass by the time she takes office. And he's made peace with it, but of course, obviously, Lopez, being the caring wife that she is at times, wants to throw him like a kind of like a it's okay party, just kind of like get his mind off things. Like, this isn't the end. It's like, think of this as a new beginning, a new reset point for you. Let's kind of like make the best of the situation, kind of. And obviously Harper's in along the ride to like get him off the door with that. Nolan actually has a day off today, which feels really weird considering the fact that we were just at the episode itself where Nolan's working, and then the next day, or we're just immediately cut into the next day, and Nolan is now back on his day off. It just kind of feels weird. It really feels weird, and obviously I pitched this a few weeks episode reviews ago, where like if you really want to control the budget next season, just have more actors take days off. It makes sense. It's a job. Not everyone's gonna work the same shift every freaking day of their lives, no matter how much. Bradford's got a schedule to make. But yeah, so regardless of that, back to the point I was trying to say, Nolan's got a day off, and Bailey's back to work. She's back from DC. She's ready to get back into the LAFD and ready to kind of get back on there. But sadly, her previous position has been fully taken by a new person. So sadly, she cannot just slide back into her own role. She will be preaching to the captain to see if there is any work that she could take to still kind of keep herself employed and I guess accountable somewhere. And obviously Nolan's got a couple sticks, like throwing the puddle a little bit. You know what, no, you can't deserve this. You really do deserve this. She heads down to the firehouse, and the captain's very frugal and points like, yes, we really don't have a position that's like kind of like where you were before, but there is an opportunity for you if you really want to take it. Apparently they're ready to embark in a new generation of recruits to their department, and he wants Bailey to teach one of them. And that means, yes, in a way, Bailey has her own rookie. Say what you want. I will say this much. This is not a procedural. They made this very clear. And this was one of the reasons I wanted to get into the show back when season 1 came out. This is not a procedural. It is procedural based, but it doesn't have to be a procedural. It does not have to be. They find creative ways to keep it going. But I will say that, like, yeah, they use the word the rookie very cannonly. It really does. And it's funny to the fact that like Bailey gets her own rookie. And I know people are probably groaning like, can we just give a break with Bailey? Like, again, we'll talk more about that when we get to the season 8 review in May. So stay tuned for my thoughts on that. But regardless of that, again, to get back to the original point of the matter, she is officially, in a way, training officer, in a matter of speaking. We're back at the station where Bradford and Chen are going over the pamphlet, over the manuals for, to hopefully have a very successful campaign drive for their station. And Chen is very brutally honest. Is like, yeah, no, this is all about appealing to people like you. But again, the LAPD isn't just of Tim Bradford. There's going to be some John Nolans, some Lucy Chen, some Selena Juarez's. Like, there's going to be different people coming in that you can't just be pitching to like one specific branch just because you're the captain. That's not the watch commander. So like you gotta like you gotta have to be a little bit more inclusive. So they decided to bring in Miles and Selena onto the recruitment drive, considering the fact Selena's still fresh as a P2 and Miles is still in the training program. So they're both able to kind of use their most recent experience to kind of like hopefully vet out the next generation. And this is like going to be a lovely, lovely time. I know Harper also strings along Nolan in on the potential party idea, trying to get him in through the door to like, let's use your place tonight. Let's like have just a little nice soiree, just kind of get everyone in the mood for, getting Wesley over the herder of this current most likely defeat. And Nolan's in, as always, is because this is Nolan we're talking about. At the same time, Nolan gets a call from Bailey about getting advice from like, how do you train a rookie, like how do you really do so? And Nolan's like, oh my God, it's like you finally want to be me. And she's like, relax. I don't want to be you. It's just I gotta take the job where I can get. So and her rookie is a very passionate know-it-all, which I'm like, I don't think we quite had on the show yet. So I'm like, you know what, I'll take it. But like, it's definitely clear that Bailey does not like the over explanation. Like, she's just keeping things nice and simple, despite her having so many hobbies that could probably fit 5 other persons. I forgot. Gray was going to volunteer at the drive, kind of being support. But if Bradford says we don't need you, he can go back straight to the FBI program that they've been doing for the last few weeks. Which again, where the hell is Garza? But yeah, no. But however, Gray sadly is experiencing a kidney stone episode. So he's weakened. It's stuck in the system, and he's got no choice but to go to the hospital. And since Smithy technically does not have a post for today, he is tasked to take Gray to the hospital, their beloved hospital. Which okay, by the time they arrive, sadly, the only doctor that's on duty is the same guy that Luna has feelings for. Which again, like, you know, it's not really the best moment when, like, you know, you're with someone you love and they kind of have a little bit of a thing for someone else, and and you're kind of in a weak moment. So in that moment, that guy will probably make himself feel more like the bigger man here, which it's a corny thing to do, but at the same time, I feel for you, Greg. I feel for you right now. I really, really do. I believe Nolan eventually gets bumped along by Bailey to help her out with the training experience, like pretending to be a doctor in order to get some assistance on it. They respond to their first call, which is a guy that's bleeding out in the middle of the street. Apparently this was the result of an inter-gang attack because this guy was part of a crew. They stole a lot of money, and he actually tried to run away with the money and hide it somewhere. So they knew he was the snitch. They instantly shot him, and then they were trying to like assume, okay, well, we're gonna bring him back to the office, kind of like wake him up and kind of get the answers out of him. But Bailey's like very frugal, like the man has bled out a lot. This man might not live. Well, I gotta take him to the hospital. It's like no, you take him to the hospital. There's so much protection, we can't get him. So no, we're taking him back to the office. You might be his medical support to get him back to it. Thankfully, between Nolan and just circumstances, they are able to kind of negotiate a way to like get him to the office, but still receive medical attention, as well as keeping themselves alive for the current moment as is. We get to the campaign drive where we see a bunch of people that are like, you are not equipped to be a police officer. You are not. However, there is one surprising thing which I literally yelled at, which I don't usually do in my household anymore. I yelled at my TV when the one and only Ripley shows up, and I'm just like, wonderful, get the hell out of here. Get out of here. I'm not dealing with you. Like, again, I've not been the biggest Ridley supporter during season 7. I really haven't. I don't think anyone in the Rookie fan base will. It's like, is the writers trying to write him back in to the story? And Bradford even admits to himself, we kind of have no fucking choice. Pardon my friend. We are understaffed. We need people. And technically, Ripley was in the middle of his program, so technically, if he passed a physical and he's able to do the physical duties of an officer, he could technically just pick up where he left off, which I'm just like, which is where, Gray kind of promised him back in season 7 when we were wrapping that up. So this could be a chance for Ridley to come back, and obviously Lucy's like, it's not even the physicality thing, it's just like, the trust. It's like, this man has constantly lied the first go around. What makes us like, again, for Miles' case, obviously he took a much longer role for recovery, but obviously Bradford doesn't give a damn about his opinion. He only cares about himself. But of course Bradford said, okay, contingency based, I will make the statement for him to be an a training officer again, officer in training again, but he has to pass a lie detector test, at least to make sure going forward he ain't gonna pull any BS again. And he signs off on it because, like, again, this might be his only chance to get back in the action. This might be the only chance. So as Gray is being recovered for his kidney stone, Luna comes in doing her job of like being like, a supporter, just making sure that he needs any assistance, anything extra that he might need. And he's like, no, I really don't. I don't need anything from you right now. I really don't. So Luna's heading off, and then the doctor cuts her off and say, hey, so with you and your husband separating, like, for the moment, like, was that because of me? And Luna admits, it was partly because of you. You were a cataclysm. I'm not going to blame that you were the whole reason we're in this situation, but definitely you did play a component there. And he's like, well, I understand your point. But however, and this is kind of like the Shiley thing where, like, the man literally admits that, like, if Luna ever had a moment of weakness and offered them to go to a hotel room after dinner, he would have taken the chance. Which I'm just like, bruh, the woman is married. You're an ass. But of course, Luna's like, oh wow, so you would have taken advantage of me if I given you the opportunity. And at one point I appreciate his honesty, but at the same point it's like, No, my dude. No, she's taken vows. Obviously, you should be a gentleman and just not go along with it. Like, try to kind of snap her back into place. But, yeah, so officially with that, she's like, yeah, no, we're done. We're officially done. Whatever I had, even the remote of you, this entire thing kind of, it ruined it for me. So, goodbye. So I'm like, damn, that's all it took? Damn. Anyway, so Nolan Bailey and the training EMT are en route to the office. They're trying to keep the guy alive. They're talking a little bit more about the heist that, went awry. And, he has all the money. He was trying to get away from us. And now we need him alive to get that location out of him. They take him to the office. The big boss just wants him to wake up, and Bailey's like, no, he's in a very critical condition right now. We need to take this urgently, and we really should go to the hospital and get him treated over there. And she's like, no, again, I ain't losing the chance to get the answers out of this guy. So you are going to resuscitate him now. He instantly shoots the training EMT as a punishment to them. And as a result, they kind of are at a stalemate, which Nolan compromises, like, okay, I will take care of the EMT. Bailey will take care of your guy, which they both do so, thank God. And Bailey is managed to able to resuscitate him. However, the guy does whatever every other crazy guy does, refuses to help out the big dude, and he's like, yeah, no, you'll have to kill me before you get that information out of me. Which he's like, great, and he instantly takes an axe and chops it down his hand, which I'm like, damn. Like, damn, for this amount of money, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, dude. It really isn't. From there, I believe we get back over to where do we get back over to? Yeah, they're trying to keep him conscious. Obviously, Bailey and Nolan see this as his only chance. Like, yeah, the guy's probably dead. He's good as dead. There's no saving him after this point. We just got to get ourselves out of the situation, which I'm like, I appreciate the candidness. Like, sometimes the rookie can't always save the day, but they can at least save themselves. But thankfully, they managed to get themselves out of the situation. Nolan manages to take down the guys, and they call for backup just to like get them out of the situation and get the training EMT to the hospital. Wesley's a little bit more considerate with his concession speech, so he goes to James to kind of talk about him a lot, like what can I potentially pitch to people that even though I may no longer be in the political public eye, I'm still going to be prevalent in the court system. At least, so if someone wants to keep track of my career, they can. So James gladly helps out, as well as admitting, yeah, we're throwing you a party, which I'm like, that's wonderful, James. You cannot hold a secret to heart. Which just realized something else. I did not know this. I have to do my background check. I mean, it could have just been just for casting reasons. I was just watching Malcolm in the Middle of Life's Unfair, the mini revival series on Disney Plus and Hulu, and apparently James is on the damn show. He was in the last episode at the party. Minor spoilers. I don't know if he played anyone in the original show. I'm eventually going to go back and rewatch it at some point during the summer, but for the time being, I was like, is he? Is that him? And he's like, yeah, it's him. He just shaved off his beard. It must have been during the in between of the seasons, or when he was on a brief hiatus from the rookie, or whatever the case. But like, yeah, he's on there. I'm like, that's freaking cool. That's really cool. Like seeing people that pop up in other projects. Like, yeah, get them some work. During the recruitment drive, because I believe you have I almost forgot. Roger talks to Selena about getting feedback on the song, and Selena does admit, like, yeah, no, it's a little bit too intense for me, considering the fact, me being the focal interest of this song. It's like it's a lot to handle. It's a lot of responsibility. But I'm like, responsibility, like what's gonna know. Okay, let me not be mean like that. But Roger's like, yeah, no, I can easily just like change some things about it if you want. Like, I really don't mind like putting you in a bit of a negative light if you want. Before they're able to get into an argument, another person comes into play. One of the people that wants to sign up for the drive, and she's saying, oh no, yeah, my boyfriend's a cop, but he's this guy. Maybe you know him. And Selena's like, no, I don't know him. I've been here for a few years now. I don't know the man. I even look at the picture and everything. This is just very. It doesn't match up, so to speak. It really doesn't. Even they're like trying to like really dig deep into this, because this is a little bit concerning, because sometimes like people will pretend to be cops just to get people to like kind of be interested in them, and they just thought this was just a simple thing of like malicious impersonation. But when they kind of start digging a little bit more, it's like, oh no, the captain was a real captain, and it's like, okay, that's kind of weird. It's kind of sus. Yeah, then eventually they found out, okay, this is really sus. Like, this doesn't make sense whatsoever. The uniform they're using is technically authentic, but it was from an older generation. So once they kind of pull into play, like, okay, why is the old captain popping up here? So eventually they pull him in, and apparently they did some research. This former watch commander has been organizing random thugs to be licensed uniformed police officers, so when they make drug busts, they take the drugs and they can sell it for themselves to get the money like that. And he admits it, like, times were tough. I had a lot of things to pay off for, a lot of credit card debt. I didn't really have much of a choice but to, did what I did, so I don't regret it, but at the same time, yeah, I knew it was going to catch up to me eventually, so he forfeits. Even the guy the girl was claiming to be a cop also shows up thinking, like, oh my god, like, don't go inside, like, I'm gonna be the one to do it. I'll explain everything. Let's just get off. And then they immediately arrest him, and like they were able to, like, get him also off the streets, like, get another bad set of impersonators off the streets of LA. I believe that's it. I really can't think of anything else. I know, yeah, like Gray eventually passes for his kidney stones. He speaks to Luna about everything, about, like, them having a conversation. Luna telling him, I'm done with the guy. Don't worry. Like, I will never have feelings for this man again. And Gray's like, holly freaking Luya. But obviously, it's still not an easy thing. Because, again, Luna did have feelings for someone else. There definitely is some shakeup in their marriage. So it's not going to be like, let's just go back to normal. This ain't an adult animated cartoon, but, but they are agreed to go to therapy. Gray's going to kind of slowly move back into the house, at least, to, like, kind of recoup himself again and kind of see where they could potentially go from here. Which, again, I found to be a very sweet in between and everything. So hopefully, it all works out to be and for them. And I'm very happy for Gray as a result of things. The training EMT does fine, but sadly, because of his experience, he may not entirely go down this path anymore, considering the fact he had a very hectic first day, but he will remember the experience, and he will definitely take this life lesson with him and wherever he goes next. And that ends Bailey's very short time as a TO. Will she ever do it again? We don't know. We really don't know, to be completely frank with you. And I guess the last thing, I think that was it. I think we just jumped straight back into the party where, yeah, Wesley already knows about it. The polls are coming in slowly. He is definitely losing. But, despite that, Wesley's like, you know what? I think it will be a very nice night to spend time with people I love and care about and just spend the night with y'all. And they do. They go to the party. Roger's singing an updated version of the song, which is kind of a little bit mean to Wesley's point of view, which I'm like, damn, this is very intense for Wesley. And Wesley and Lopez are kind of like, despite everything that's happened, they're kind of ready to turn a new leaf, kind of resume conversations that they've been talking about their life. And Wesley's like, well, this entire experience made me realize that being in the DA's office really doesn't do anything for me. Like, sure, he's going to take some big profile cases, he's going to be in the media a lot, but in reality of it, he's not really going to be able to make any of the changes he was promising out to be unless he gets to be a DA, which, again, by this point, who knows if that will ever happen again. But regardless of that, he knows, like, the most he can do right now is to kind of go back in the independent circuit, being a defense attorney, and see if he can make some changes in that perspective, which, again, will put him back into the odds with the rest of the officers, but at least in the interim, it will make him happy. And Lopez is like, if that makes you happy, then I'm happy. So they agreed to move forward on that idea. Juarez and Roger talk about the song again, and again, Juarez is like, I'm a very little person. I'm a very, down to earth person, so I know what things mean, but at the same time, it's like, sometimes I gotta be direct with my thoughts, and obviously this is one of those moments where, like, she kind of reflects of, like, how lucky she is to be part of this group, be part of this team, be part of this, have this job, and being able to enact change each and every day. And Roger's like, yeah, you belong with them. You're a part of this team, and, continue to do so as a result of it. Nolan makes a little speech about, like, yeah, sadly, Wesley will not be DA, but however, this doesn't take away from everything he's going to still do in his position wherever he goes next. And, Wesley chimes in saying, like, these are the moments where I realize I'm lucky to have this family. And again, like, I'm not trying to say family like Fast and Furious, but I'm like, I'm just saying, like, to the point of, like, Yeah, no, family does matter. Like not just blood family, but found family, and just those moments, these little moments of like togetherness, does create a bigger avenue, for that as a sort. And they all celebrate, they all hug, they all cheer, and again, like this kind of felt like a very weird quasi series finale. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm scared of the day like the day Grey's Anatomy ends, it's like the day like any show can end. This is the this is the end game right there. But with that being said, that was it for this week's episode of The Rookie. I enjoyed it a lot. I wasn't really thrilled. Like it didn't feel like as progressive in terms of like the like it's all over the place, to be honest with you. Like we got like but it felt very much like of a way to like kind of like reset parameters. Like Wesley's storyline ending with the DA's run. Okay, you know what? I think that was a good call. Like, it kind of showcases like you're not always going to be always the winner and everything. As much as it's a TV show, you want to support your favorite characters. Like sometimes there are going to be moments where you are going to lose, but when you do have your wins, it makes it more stronger as a result. Nolan and Bailey finally back on the field together is, again, say what you want about it. I think personally it's a different approach. It's, again, trying to keep things fresh in perspective. Will we ever get a whole season of Bailey training EMT and training? I don't know. That will be something we'll talk about if we ever get to that. The drive was a fun idea, just having everyone kind of chiming in and almost saying goodbye to Smithy. Oh my god, I almost forgot. I was feeling like I'm forgetting something in this episode. Yeah, no, I forgot about the whole polygraph test. Yeah, no, freaking Ridley passes with flying colors. Obviously, we get some closure where, like, Lucy and Bradford now know about the fire, and, like, he could have, like, saved their lives, a little bit more sooner had it not been for those circumstances. But, about all else, Bradford does write the recommendation of like putting him back in, so we might be seeing Ridley back more often very soon, which for me, I'm not the biggest fan of, but you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I honestly, this was just a fun episode, and honestly, if God forbid something had happened in the world, this ended up being the final episode, I felt that this would have been a very sweet way to end it off. It would have been. But regardless, we still have much more of The Rookie to go. But this felt like one of those very poignant moments of like chiming in with our fellow, having everyone back in the same room, almost everyone, and just having fun and cherishing these little times we have left. But with all that being said, I'm giving this episode 1 and 3/4 thumbs up. Let me know down below, what did you think of this episode of The Rookie? Did you love it? Did you like it? Let me know down below. I would love to have the conversation with you about it. But I believe that's going to do for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 8th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two besides our Rookie episode reviews, right now we are doing Madlock episode reviews each and every week. At the Rams is on CBS. Which will be probably the next thing we post after this one. We just did a review for One Piece Season 2. If you want to go check that out, it's definitive reviews, full spoilers, to an extent. So stay tuned. So please keep an eye out for that one. And yeah, if you only care about The Rookie, we will have a lot of Rookie reviews coming out in the next 2 weeks, just as we catch back up. It's going to be a very fast rush to the finale on my end, considering the fact that, so I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of planning on the video hemisphere to get through. But again, with all that being said, thank you again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, like, favorite, share if you want to, ring that bell, and follow social media for more. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.